It has been delightful to sit in that seat and watch things unfold and to talk about the surrender. And I'm getting the biggest kick out of, this is all yoga, right? It's all breathing, it's all feeling, and I have to tell you how I finally got here, to learn to feel again. And Ken challenged me to try to bring you into my story, which means we have to start way back in my childhood. And I won't make a long story short. I'm very German. You can tell by the square jaw, Stockamp, and we grew up pushing through everything. We were rewarded by performing, by doing, by human doings, right? Yeah. And so I fast forward quite a few years, found myself at about 37, 38 years old, owned a business, had 2 babies. I had a 4-pound baby, full term, because I was so doing. I didn't feel my body. I didn't feel bad, just never was hungry. Gained 18 pounds. Doctor told me I was going to have a small baby. I said, no way, I'm healthy. 4 pounds later, she was very healthy today, thank God. But during that period, I started to realize, man, I'm not really happy. What is going on? And started seeing a counselor. Who's seeing a counselor? Who's happy to say that? Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank God for my counselor. But, and this is kind of funny and a true story, she was the one who basically looked at me and said, you know, I think you're wound a little tight. You might want to try counseling. And so, because I lived on the west side, my office was on the east side, being the doer that I was, I found a 5:45 a.m. class that I could make sure my kids were in bed, and I could go do that yoga class and get to work by 8 o'clock, right? That's what we did. That first yoga class I went to, I will never forget that sensation. After you do the physical practice, you get relaxed and worked out. Sometimes you break a sweat, and then you lay into something called Shavasana, which is that place of relaxation. And you reconnect to your body. And I got up, and for the rest of the day, somebody could have spit on me, and I would have been okay with it. And that allowed me to start to reconnect this with this. You're all talking about goosebumps. How important it is, because our body leads if we can feel it. And so I have been so grateful to find this practice, and I am teaching. And it's changed the neurology of my brain. If anyone's ever interested, I understand what's happened. Because as this good German young kid, I laid down so many neural pathways in my left brain, and I'm just amazed when I hear you people that are, and it's very simplistic when I break it down into left and right brain, but I was never taught to feel, to have passion. And I had an underdeveloped right brain. I think a lot of us Westerners don't have access to that. And this practice has allowed me to learn to feel again. In fact, it was interesting. I was teaching a class the other day, and there was something, it's what I'm going blank. What is the name of it? It's basically you're in a wide leg, forward fold, and your hands are underneath and pinned underneath you. And you bring your forehead down. And I can do that some days and not so good other days. Let's just face that. But when I get in that pose and my hands are pinned underneath, my heart starts racing. I get scared. I mean, it wasn't just scared. There's something abnormal going on in me. And I find myself shaking and having to pull myself out of it and lifting that leg. And I realized afterwards, like, God, what is going on? And I shared with my class, I said, I have the strangest sensation when I find myself in that, pinned in that posture. And I allowed myself later in that day just to kind of be with that fear. And allowed myself to go back there, and I had this bizarre flashback. Well, I had 3 brothers, and I was the oldest. And my dad used to play stack the kids on each other, and then he'd jump on top. I think I was up, my muscle memory told me I was on the bottom. Now, I probably wasn't, but that's what I remember. I remember being terrified as a little kid, being stuck under that massive arms and legs. And my body remembered that. And so it's these simple practices, but if we allow ourselves to be with that fear and to reconnect, it has been such a gift. And it's allowed me to feel again and allowed me to be. And I'm thrilled to be here with you today. So that's my story. Namaste.